Hey guys, Sandy here, and welcome to the Leap into Multi-Photo Layouts YouTube hop. Today I'm going to be scrapbooking these 3 photos. These are photos of my husband, myself, and my son posing with a car in Walt Disney World's Epcot. I am going to scrapbook all 3 photos on one page, so let's see what I can do. Now I do have 3 4x6 photos here. And I pretty regularly, when I have 3 4x6 photos, stack them so that they're all on top of each other or they're all next to each other. And this time I decided I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I cut 2 of my photos down to 4x4. And that was fine because the background is the same exact background in all 3 photos. The only thing that is different is our poses with this car. So I was completely cool with cutting out the background because I wasn't going to miss it because you're seeing it in the other photos. Now, I do make this photo mat a little bit large and ultimately I trim it down. There was just too much of it showing for the layers that I ended up going with underneath of the photos. Because sometimes I am a top-down scrapper, and that's just the way my head works sometimes, and that's all I've got to say about that. Sometimes I can start with layers on the bottom, and sometimes I just can't get a coherent thought to make that happen. So this layout was definitely a top-down kind of layout, you guys. Now, I did choose a black background because of the dark kind of background in the photos with the fireworks. This, in case you didn't know, is at Epcot in Test Track after you get out. The pavilion is sponsored by Chevrolet, go Chevy, and they always have cars that you can check out, and of course there's like a Chevy guy there or a Chevy gal telling you all about the cars and the features and all that kind of stuff. But they also have these kind of photo booths so you can pose with the cars, and these get sent to your email. So my son and my husband and I were all around this car, and they take the photo every like 15 seconds, so you got to be quick. And we just decided to make these kind of funny photos happen, and we had a great time with it. So the photos aren't like tremendous quality. They're all a little blurry because they come in your email, but you know what? It's a fun time and we had a blast with it. So that's really all that matters. Now I am using paper from the Dear Lizzie She's Magic paper pad. I didn't pick up this collection when it came out, but I did see it at Tuesday morning when I was in Phoenix. So just about everything, guys, that I pick up at Tuesday morning right now is going to be from Phoenix because my Tuesday morning is not that fabulous, but the Phoenix ones were like, whoa. Dropped a little bit of money there, so, and that was okay because I had planned to drop a little bit of money there. So it wasn't like I went there and completely acted like a maniac. Now I am trimming these papers down because see, you know, top down, and I am looking at this and thinking, oh, this needs to come down a little bit more. So I just trim it down and slide it down there. And you really can't tell. Ultimately, you don't even really see that this is a large diagonal striped paper with a lot of different colors on it, just because I end up covering up a lot of it. And I am okay with that. So, like, I don't mind a lot of my papers being covered up. I don't mind, I also, as you can see, don't mind like trimming them down and splitting them so there isn't so much paper being used. So I kind of have like no real hard and fast philosophy on it, other than sometimes I feel like trimming it and sometimes I don't. And I couldn't tell you the reason why whatsoever. Now I did feel like I needed to brighten up the layout a little bit. It was feeling very dark with the background and the photos and the dark pattern papers. So I have this guy right here with the fun colored dots and decided to bring that in. Now this is about the point where I'm feeling like my green is a little bit like thick. My mat is a little bit thicker than I want it. And originally I had left that thicker mat because I like the pattern paper of the green and I wanted to be able to see it. But ultimately it just did not work. So I'm just bringing down the photos closer so that the mat is not as thick. And I'm only trimming off a little bit, so there isn't a whole lot of paper waste. And I know that some people would save those scraps and use them for all kinds of fun things. But saving those kind of scraps stresses me out, guys. Like, it just really does. And it's not worth it to me to save those scraps and be stressed about it. So there we go. So I do add a little bit of adhesive just to get it back on there. But as you can see, I'm using an ATG and I'm popping things up and taking them off pretty much on a regular basis, and I'm not having really any trouble with it. Now this orange pattern paper has a little bit of a metallic shine to it. I'm pretty sure it's that iridescent Lisa Frank kind of metallic, but since it's in such small little doses, you really can't tell. I am kind of the holographic silver is what I'm looking for. I call it the Lisa Frank because it reminds me of Lisa Frank folders and stickers and pens from back in the day. But I'm really kind of over that. There was a slim, very slim part of my scrapbooking life that I enjoyed that. And that was for when I did our New York anniversary trip album because I felt like it kind of went with it. But just in general, I am not a silver holographic foil fan in my scrapbooking. I'm just not, and that's okay. I do mix some metals because I do bring in a ever so slight amount of copper. And I'm okay with mixing metals as well. Mixing metals, not just for Christmas. I feel like I need to create a little tagline for it. So now I'm looking at this. I'm liking what I have so far. I'm liking the paper layers that I've built up underneath of my photos. And I'm just really overall enjoying the layout. Now I do pull out some Dear Lizzie ephemera, and this is not the She's Magic ephemera. This is something else. Honestly, I don't remember what it is. I don't know. So I'm just playing around with the ephemera, trying to figure out where exactly things are going to go. I do like the You Are Magical thing, so I keep that. I'm like, oh, we can bring in a little bit of florals because I've got this orange floral in the background. So I'm just picking through and deciding what things might work. I really have no idea what the collection is called. Usually the collection names are somewhere in the ephemera, but she's got a couple different collection names in this ephemera, so who the heck knows. Now I really wanted to use that star burst thingy right there because of the fireworks, and I kind of felt like it fit with the theme. Ultimately, I used the star, but not the burst part. So there it is. Since this is a Disney layout, I feel like tickets are always a great kind of generic thing to use. Even though at Disney you don't get those kind of tickets, and particularly at Disney World where you have magic bands, you really don't get those kind of tickets. But for me, it just works. It's one of those generic themes that just work in my mind. And when something works in your mind when you're scrapbooking, just go with it. Just go with it. So now what I am doing, I'm still flipping through some ephemera bits because I don't have anything that She's Magic wise, ephemera wise, or sticker wise, or anything like that. I literally just have the paper pad. But it's an American Crafts brand, and many of the colors are similar throughout all of the designer lines. So I really don't feel like it's going to be too difficult of a chime. And really, I get my biggest scrapbooking high off of coordinating, mixing collections, manufacturers, embellishments like that. That is what gives me joy. If I'm given a collection, a complete collection, and sometimes I do purchase a complete collection, I don't feel as creative with it because everything is coordinating already. I don't have to do any of the work. So even when I do get complete collections, I usually pull in something else just because that is what brings me the greatest joy in my scrapbooking. And I know that there are people that would much rather have a complete collection and just scrapbook with that. And hey, if that's what like gets you going and revs your motor for scrapbooking, then I say go for it. Did you like that revs your motor? Because you know I'm doing a car layout. I wish you could see my face. Sometimes I wish when people are doing voiceovers, like I wish you could see what they were doing, because I wonder if, because I thoroughly tickled myself with that, and you can definitely see it in my face, but I just want to see what the voice, like the video behind the voiceover, like that's what I'm interested in seeing. It would definitely be interesting, because most of the time I'm not even looking at my layout. Okay, so I am thinking that I need something in this bottom corner, because that's where like this biggest expanse of black cardstock is. But I don't ultimately put something in the corner. I do try something, like to put something there a lot. I'm trying different words out, different stickers, just different things, trying to find something fun. Now, I did pull out this Amy Tangerine sticker sheet because I felt like there was enough of the colors in there that coordinated, and ultimately I used like one sticker and some of the letter stickers. And this is from 2013. This is pretty old. I could not tell you what collection this is either. No clue whatsoever. I got that at Tuesday Morning in Phoenix as well. So I pull out this Dear Lizzie, what is this called? Washi tape. Woo, went blank there for a second. So the floral in that little banner underneath of the third photo exactly matches the floral in this washi tape. And I'm actually kind of ticked at this washi tape because it is sticky on both sides. So it's... I just don't understand adhesive, and well, I mean, I understand how adhesive works. That's not what I mean. I don't understand American Crafts adhesive. Like it just makes no sense to me. Things don't stick. Then things stick too well, and now my washi tape is sticking to itself. Like get it together. Just get it together. But you know, it's American Crafts, and they are the big, conglomerate. They just picked up Jelly Bean Soup. So, I mean, I guess I would rather have them pick up these other companies and designers and manufacturers so that the product is still out there and available than it just go away, because that makes me sad. But, I mean, get it together. Get it together. That is all I have to say about that. And I will probably never make it onto an American Crafts design team because I badmouth their adhesive so much. They probably wouldn't like that. So yeah, there we go. Now I am building up my title here, and I've got this idea in my head of what it's going to be. And then that sticker right there, that frame sticker, was gorgeous. And I thought I was going to end up having 3 areas of embellishment because I was still working on that black corner down there. So I decided to use my pen blade and cut out the black frame of the sticker. And then that way I would have a little bit more of a black frame sticker to have in 3 different areas on my layout, because I thought I was going to have 3 areas of embellishment. And I don't know why, but this layout, I finagled it and I fiddled around with it, and just much more than I usually do. I'm much more of a committer and stick it down. But for some reason, I'm not exactly sure, I messed with this layout like much more than I normally do. Ultimately, I'm happy with the layout. I like the way it came out. I think it's going to fit great in the 2017 Disney albums, because 2017 is a year that I am not using a collection to keep a theme throughout. The 2017 trip was the was the trip that just was a great fun time, and I don't want to be kind of limited by one collection. So I am finally sticking these things down, and then I see that my photo is a little bit crooked, so I just need to adjust that a little bit. And then I realized I never even stuck that little floral banner piece down. It was just kind of chilling there. So I go ahead and stick that down as well. And now I'm just building this up. Now, originally, see, I was like, yeah, it'll fit down here. It'll be great. So originally, this little You Are Magical piece was flat, stuck down to the paper. Ultimately, it does get popped up. So instead of the camera being on top of the You Are Magical, the camera actually lives underneath of the You Are Magical. And I like that a little bit better than with the frame. And then with this floral, it ended up like covering up way too much of that black and white frame. So I do fix that ultimately. I do pop up just a couple of the leaves. The rest of the floral is going to be flat, and that just gives it a little bit of dimension and interest. So here are the little foam squares that I'm popping this up on. And then I'm like, ooh, that's a little too high. We need to bring that down. So I bring that down a little bit, and then I'm going to add another foam square so that my little scallopy, circly piece doesn't kind of like bleh down off to the side. Yep, see, definitely a time where I wish you could see the video behind the voiceover because, you know, I just made a bleh face. So anyway, I do put a little slit in that floral to kind of have it in front of and behind the frame at the same time. And I just use a little heart to cover that up. And like, I'm okay with that. Some people, this might make you cringe, but for me, totally good with it. Totally good. So I'm thinking now it is probably about time to get this title going on. And then I'm tapping that frame because now that, you know, I'm thinking, you know, I definitely have to bring this heart in over here. Where is this going to go? And then I'm like, okay, so I have this kind of black frame up here. I have this one over here on this cluster over top where the journaling is going to go. And then I'm thinking I need to build up my cluster down here. And then I think, okay, the washi tape banner's a little bit long, so we're going to trim that down. And then ultimately I'm like, no, it doesn't even need to be there. But I really do want to use this second half the frame. So I think about making it a long one over there underneath the camera, but that doesn't really work. So I tear apart this entire cluster, which isn't really a lot to tear apart, but I do take it apart to tear it down. And then I'm going to tuck the frame over here so that you get to see a little bit more of it. And I'm just making sure that none of the paper layers or the sticker layers end on top of each other, that there's always just a little bit of a layer showing. And then I'm just putting everything back on there and sticking it down and getting happy with what I have done. Because, you know, you got to be happy with what you've done, or at least semi-okay with it on some layouts. Not all layouts are going to give you like great feelings of joy and pleasure and happiness. So while I am throwing some foam squares down on the back of this die cut word that says cool, please make sure that you take some time to visit everyone that is doing this YouTube hop today. It is leap year today, so we have 29 days in February, in case you know you didn't get the leap into multi-photo layouts title there. I hope you do. And I'm explaining something and you're like, Sandy, just shut up and either run your mouth about something else or talk about the layout because we know it's leap year. So there. But seriously, guys, check out everybody in the list down below in the description. You might find a new YouTuber, or you might even rediscover someone that you have seen before. So that's really exciting. There is a great list of great women who are super crafty. So definitely check that out. So the title I had in the back of my mind was that new car kind of cool. And I'm using these green and black letter stickers, and I specifically wanted these because they do have the black on top of the color tile. I didn't want to bring in white because I felt like I had enough white on the page. And also I feel like the layout from left to right kind of reads darker to lighter, and I like that kind of going on. Not that I chose to do that on purpose, but I like the way that it feels when I'm looking at the layout, so I'm good with it. Now, I do decide to go ahead and use the word that with those same letter stickers because I thought, I like mixed letter sticker titles, but sometimes when you have a title, there are just too many. There is a fine line between too many and just amount, like just the right amount. And for me, if I would have chosen a different font for that, it would have been a little bit funky. Now, these are really old Freckled Fawn foam letter stickers. And luckily enough, I had enough letters to spell the word car. But I do ultimately have to move the title a little bit because car was a little bit larger than the space I gave it. So, there is that. But I do kind of like how this title turns out. I like the title itself. Like, that makes me happy. And then I like the colors of the title. I like the mix of fonts. Like, everything about the title makes me happy. So that is going to do it, except for a couple finishing touches. So I do see this star and I'm like, okay, now I only have this copper in one place on the layout, so I need to bring in some more. So I trim off the star tail and just add the star over here kind of by the title. And I do realize that that puts the metallic like right in a line, but you know what? I don't even care. I like it the way it is, so that works. I do pull out some Love from Lizzie enamel dots. I tried out the black sparkly enamel dots that I had, and I liked the pink ones better. Now I do end up using the entire row of the pink enamel dots on this layout, and I am okay with that. They look good. I like the way that they are placed. I like how they're sprinkled across the page. So it works for me and I'm happy and I am glad to use the enamel dots. So that is that. I do add a little bit of journaling, not a whole heck of a lot, and nothing like groundbreaking or earth-shattering. The only thing I say is Alex, Christopher, and I had an amazingly fun time posing with the Chevy at Epcot. I mean, just look at us. And you can definitely tell, even though the photos are not like tremendous, you can tell that we are like having a blast messing around with this car. Like, you just can. Like, the first photo is just us like, oh yeah, we're cute, we're with the car. And then, the second one, my husband does his little sexy pose, and the third one I'm like, yeah, car, we're gonna sit down here, and my son's like, yeah, look at my mom. So it's a super fun time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. There will be some links at the end so that you can check out a couple other videos. Oh, and since it was Disney, I had to add that hidden Mickey. So there will be some links at the end. You can check out some other videos. You can also subscribe. Thanks so much, and I will see you again really soon for another video.